Welcome to Emirates Airline Park, and the Currie Cup continues on a Saturday afternoon with the Sigma Lions up against DHL Western Province. Round 12 of the Carling Currie Cup. So, as you can see from the clothing worn by those people, those supporters there, it is a little bit chilly here in Johannesburg with a low of 13 degrees centigrade. It will get obviously a little bit cooler. Just a light breeze that's blowing and nothing to really worry the players, I would think. And, well, there's a couple of supporters that are certainly, we know where their affiliations lie. And strangely enough, over the years, Western Province have very often had a lot of support outside of Cape Town too. But they come into this game with 5 changes, 4 in the pack of forwards, and a start-up first for Ebenezer Shimanga, the boy from Wynberg. He gets an opportunity of a run today, and he'll be looking forward to that too. He comes with a lot of talent, one's got to say. He's a big boy too, so they've got some real speed in that back line, have Western Province. Captained by Namakaba once again. And just the 2 victories for them in this year's Carling Currie Cup. So at least they've got one supporter in a bright new Western Province rugby jersey. So what both of these teams have done, as we have a look at the Lions team too, is they've brought in players that have been playing URC rugby. So that would really probably end up making this a very real contest. If you have a look at the individual players in the side, those that have come in, and the potential outcome of this game. Reinhard Northnagel takes over the captaincy, and we have seen other players, of course, in the captaincy role. Sanele Nohamba at number 9, up from the Sharks and playing his first Currie Cup match for the Lions, having played URC rugby for them too. I think a lot will depend on Sibusiso Sangweni, Emmanuel Shatuka and Franco Horn, the loose forwards of the Lions today. They've got a really big role to play because there's a lot of speed in the Western Province backline, and if they get good quality ball, there's going to be a lot of running rugby tonight, I think. So the players are just about ready to come out, and former Springbok loose forward Warren Brosnian is alongside me today. Bros, you've had a chat to them all, and the coaches, and you were down on the field too. Wonderful playing surface this. And although it's a bit damp, you mentioned, could we possibly see some really good running rugby from these 2 teams tonight?
I think it's, without question, could happen. It's a very quick back 3 that the DHL Western Province side have put out, as has this Sigma Lions team. The pitch is wet. It's damp and dewy out there at the moment, but the surface conditions otherwise really, really good. And this is always a big game between these 2 traditional rivals at Currie Cup level. They will up the ante. They're good loose forwards here. There's a lot of URC players that have come down and are playing in this game, which give it a bit more of a competitive edge. But these teams are certainly building for the future and using this as a platform to launch into whatever's coming later on in the year when you look at URC, United Rugby Championship, etc. Of course, we've got the quarterfinals next week here in South Africa.
Well, and also, you talk about the youth too, the youngsters that are getting a chance to play as well. If you look at the number of junior Springboks in both sides, there's 9 of them on the Lions side and 6 of them on Western Province's side, which is a good sign too, that our youngsters are coming through and are getting these opportunities. So despite the results that we've seen, if we look individually at the growth of rugby players in South Africa and their age group, there's a lot to be said for it. It's a good pipeline.
Yeah, we've had a lot of exciting new players coming through. Guys like Matt Moore, Henko van Wyk, that we're going to see in the senses. Watch out for Matt Moore. Got brilliant hands. And then Henko van Wyk, one of the top junior players to come through at junior level, getting a chance. Stefan Geldenhuis will be our referee for this afternoon.
38-year-old Stefan Geldenhuis. He was at school at Boland Landbou down in the Western Cape. Played Cravenwick rugby for Western Province. So he's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, and he's now looking to make sure that he's entrenched in a T-shirt in the refereeing role. One of our up-and-coming referees in South Africa. So another change as well that in the Lions team, it's Tian Swanepoel who'll take the kickoff. is in place of Jordan Hendricks, who of course is plying his trade with the Blitzbokker. And Tian Swanepoel is just the ideal guy to have in your side, whether he's playing fullback or whether he's in the fly half role or anywhere else, to be honest with you. But that's the first knock on there from Western Province from the kickoff. They always talk about the kickoff being a set phase as well.
Oh, it certainly is. Audrey Smith, he's been out, he's been sick, and he's getting an opportunity to start. Guys, I've got a good sighter on it, just unable to take it and misjudges it. Crucial to take that and secure the ball for your team.
Lots of words there from Namakaba in terms of this very first scrum, and the important scrum as well. It is for both teams, but it'll be Sanele Nohamba with the put in. Godlin Masimla is the opposite number tonight. First scrum is always watched with a lot of interest, not just by us here in the commentary box, but everybody all around, and both teams standing pretty well. Yastian Pienaar, very strong runner with the ball. And you'll see lots of carries tonight as well from the three loose forwards of the Lions. If the foundation is laid for them as well, JP Smith will be one of them trying to do that. Now on to Sibusiso Sangweni. This is where the strength can come in as well. Some really good running there. Manuel Sotuka was the first carrier. This Lions side looked very slick in the warm-up, one's got to say, and whether you can judge much from that is obviously debatable.
Never onside.
Western Province offside, so they're very much on the back foot since the kickoff.
Oh, that was very positive from the Sigma Lions, coming around the corner. Generated a little bit of momentum. One of the rucks got slowed down. I think it was the third or fourth ruck by DHL Western Province. But some real good carry there from some of the forwards from that Lions team. We saw Mornay Brandon on the ball. Very strong combative hooker.
Okay, you're responsible for them,
and you've got a couple of players that are offside. They've got to be behind the last man's feet at that ruck. And they're way in front. Godlin Masimla.
He was looking at a pencil-like defence there. See with the wrap around, close things off. So Mornay Brandon, former Monas player, with a throw into Ruben Skuman. Western Province trying to work them towards the touchline.
That's once.
The Lions have done well to stay infield. Now they just regroup once again.
Stay there. No answer.
He's going to do the carry. Well, Matt Moore is standing off.
No, you can't.
It's another penalty.
You're not on the ball from the start.
So tough year for Western Province, conceding those two penalties and no kicking at goal. So the Lions' intentions are very much, I think, to try and get a first up victory, because they've lost all 10 matches they've played in this year's Carling Currie Cup.
Yeah, a couple of those players just killing that ball off and diving in. Opportunity now for the Lions team, 5 metres from the try line.
Safety in the front of the line out. This time it goes to Ronald Northnagel, the captain. And over they go. Is it down?
Short.
No. Just held up short. Now they're going to push hard, but they've got the try. Ernst from Ryan is having a good talking to the referee, the Western Province lot. But it's been awarded.
Yeah, it looks like Mornay Brandon, the man that scored the first try. There really was some great work there by Sibusiso Sangweni to resist the temptation and urge to try reach out for that ball. Showed a lot of self-control, came so close here. Amit, he's literally on that try line. He still places it out. Brandon literally just has to pick it up and fall over the try line. There it is there. All the early pressure coming from the team from Johannesburg. It's a really good start for them.
Yeah, the intentions look very honourable, very good. Of course, when you get penalties in a 22, and you decide not to kick it goal, scoring the try becomes incredibly important. And they've done just that. Now, Tian Swanepoel. never short. He's got a great boot, but this one's not over. Kicks at prodigious distances. Of course, they've got Sonela Nohamba to back him up too as a goal kicker.
And he was really striking them cleanly in the warm-up before the game was Sonela Nohamba. Great score there for the pack from the Lions.
So Tim Sweel's first touch of the ball in the game in just over 5 minutes. Franco Horn very often the carrier of the ball too, and then they use Con Horn with that trusty left boot of his. And of course they've got the right boot of Tian Swanepoel, which is most useful, and he's not happy with the distance.
Well, you spoke in the intro as we were building up about young players coming into the competition. He's one of them, Kuan Horn, what he's done, and making that number 15 jersey his own for the Lions. Opportunity now for Western Province.
So Jacques van Zyl has his first throw in at the line out. He's got Van Ryan, he's got Audrey Smith as well. Van Ryan in the front, he's the catcher. Quickly out from Pokamela. A thumping tackle that on Cornell Smith.
Got it.
It's been popped out on the Lions side, but they
Vantage.
very poorly didn't hold on to it. Now another chance for them. Sergio Peterson brought down some strong tackling from the Lions.
Ball available.
Gaba standing off.
Vantage is over.
Way behind the advantage line, but they look to try and work their way through. Jean de Jong, Swiel, the long pass. Now first chance here for Ebenezer. He's a strong runner, this fella. Still they come. Now Western Province are starting to get a little bit of rhythm now that they've got a little bit more ball, and that's a poor pass that Cornell Smith, but they'll come back for the penalty. And certainly Emmanuel Shumanga with some good strong running on the left wing.
Oh, very strong from Ebenezer Shumanga, getting an opportunity. The 19-year-old able to get aside across the advantage line.
Shot already.
Now we know the situation with Western Province. We have a re-look at this, Warren, just again signaling their intentions of trying to use the width of the field where they can.
Immediately called it.
Now the play was too flat off Cornell Smith. Needed to have a little bit more depth. At Sibusiso Sangweni, he's got a huge work rate.
Yeah, he's got some engine. We've seen that during the course of this year, and sometimes he lets that engine maybe just overcook a little bit. So he's picked up, you know, the odd penalties and cards and things like that, but he's certainly take nothing away from him. This tells you that Western Province want to make sure of a victory tonight, and they want to put scoreboard pressure as best as they can on the Lions. But of course, theoretically, Western Province could still make the playoffs. But it would require a lot of luck.
It'd be tough, but they're sitting on 13 points, so they've got 3 games, including this one. If they got 5 points from all 3, they can get themselves up to 28 points. Of course, we saw that win by Griquas, and the Pumas have moved themselves to 22. So it's unlikely, but it's possible. And the fact is that Western Province play Griquas next as well, so they can control their destiny in that game.
And of course, there are a couple of important elements that go with that, of course. And one of them is bonus points. So they've got to score tries too, but they wanted to get on the board first and foremost. Swanepoel, brilliant running from him. He's opening up now. Stian Pienaar, they won't bring him down. He's a strong runner, and he finishes it off almost immediately for the Lions.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Kick transition, kick turnover is one of the primary facets of where tries are scored in modern day rugby, and here it's all about bringing that ball back. And it's Tian Swanepoel, he's been given an opportunity in that number 10 jersey today, and he takes it, gets through, breaks the hole, manages to find the space, and unleashes Stian Pienaar. Stian Pienaar shows some great pace as well to get around and beat the tackle from Tristan Lades.
It was a big chase as well from Namakaba. He was the man who missed that first up tackle on Swanepoel as he drifted through the defense. Brilliant running from the fly half.
Was om voor die 4 al teruggekry daar. Ja. Ja, thanks.
So this kick a little bit easier than the first conversion. It was close to the touchline. Turns straight away, does Swanepoel, with another 2 points for the Lions.
Yeah, we've seen the drive, and here we see the counter-attack. He spots the space, busts through the gap, looks for the offload, and finds his winger. Pino has a little inside-outside, goes out to the outside to create a little bit of space, and then brings it around the corner to bring it nearby. Well done to the Lions.
I'm sure Jerome Parvada will be quite livid with his team. You know, we always talk about how teams can concede just after they've scored. JP Smith with a super run downfield. Now Skuman out with it very, very quickly. Sangweni taking it in. Swanepoel. It's a pretty good kick. It's going to be a penalty that they come back for. Penalty is against Cordell Smith in picture.
12 Bloemhof on the ball.
Now, what would concern Jerome Parvata is the missed tackles that we've just seen in the last two stanzas of play from this DHL Western Province team.
Now, Nohamba's got the ball. He's not going to kick it goal. Well, they're going to throw that ball off. Tiaan Swanepoel's fetched another one, which is perhaps more to his liking. So they'll continue to pursue the option of lineouts in the opposition 22, searching for tries. They've got two of them already.
It was a good take from Skuman, and then it was the rip from the big loose head prop, JP Smith. It opened up like the Grand Canyon, and away went the big loose head prop.
Brandon, this time to the back. Good options for the lineouts there. Just a real touch there for Matt Moore. Right, I was just going to say the Lions have been controlling possession pretty well. There's a knock on there, so referee's playing advantage to see what happens here. Oh, he's called it over. There's Edolf van Marve up against his former team. Doing really well, the left winger. Getting through those early tackles. There comes Smith again.
Leave it! The hands from Ruan Dreyer.
And then the little knock on there.
Advantage.
Yeah, Western Province looking for options and opportunities now, but the ball comes out quite slowly. It's not a good kick that. And Brian Horn has got all the time in the world to probe for the touchline. And it bounces back in field. Now Tristan Lads might have thought about letting that go over the goal line, but decided to pick it up. Maybe he wasn't aware that there was opposition close by.
Yeah, we saw a poor kick, and then we saw a brilliant kick. A brilliant one there from Kuan Horn. Got unlucky with the bounce, but it still worked. They're going to have line-out feed in the 22 of Western Province. All the early momentum and possession with DHL Lions at the moment. 79% of that possession.
Yeah, well, they've got the scoreboard that's telling a story too, importantly. Over the back it goes to Franco Horn, but it's not in straight. Can sometimes be a little bit of a daredevil tactic when the wind's blowing, which it isn't really doing yet, but it was not in straight from Brandon.
Yeah, I like what they were trying to do though. Over the top, a dummy jumper at the tail. Trying to open up that space, get a centre running off the player that takes that ball. It can work well. And of course, you need a straight throw to start it all off.
Yeah, it's been some season, hasn't it, the Carling Currie Cup. In fact, we've seen so many games of two halves, haven't we? The teams played well in one half and not in the second, which has resulted in many up and down scores, but a lot of excitement, one's got to say, too. Just had one of those interesting games, too, with Grickers absolutely giving the log leaders at the time, the Cheetahs, a real hiding in Kimberley this afternoon.
No, you've got to say,
changing the angle.
it's great from a rugby point of view, from a Carling Currie Cup point of view. We look at what the Ealing Pumas did to the Bulls last night. It was very competitive. Couple calls going against them. Then we see the Cheetahs losing, making it interesting at the tail end of this competition. Yeah, just going in, changes the angle.
JP Smith, the man penalised. 9 points the difference. And very little possession belonging to Western Province, just 25% of it.
Yeah, important for Province now to stay on this ball. Start asking a few questions defensively of this Lions team. Jacques van Zyl to feed the line out.
Now this time it's taken there by Marcel Tiernissen. Here's Cornel Smith. That's brilliantly ripped, I think, by the Lions and turned it over. That's very good defensive play by the men from Joburg. Now little top passes. Here's Dion Pienaar again. Likes to hold on to the ball and carry it.
Advantage.
He's backs himself against any opposition.
Now get out.
Mahamba taken very quickly.
Tackler is fine.
That's good play that by the scrum half. Got everybody on the front foot. That is, of course, his team. Yes, Diaz Pienaar. Now, which way does Horn go? Bear in mind, of course, he's played at centre before. Emmanuel Shatuka taking it in. Well, the penalties are mounting against Western Province. There's 5 of them now.
Off feet, number 6.
Now, the offloading game at the moment from the Lions is working. They're going into contact, getting the offload, getting that continuity. And through it, generating a little bit of momentum, getting that rhythm, which is very, very important. Tian Swanepoel, he was the man that made that tackle, ball and all tackle. It's something we saw in the URC where the players go in and tackle the ball rather than the man and strip it out. And we saw Tian Swanepoel do it. This offload here from Shatuka was really good off the ground. Well, he didn't offload that one, but there was one before as well. And then this attempted steal from Namachaba is the thing that was penalised.
So Lions in a prime position here. Catch from North Nargle. And then they come again. This is an excellent drive from them initially. Or was that collapsed delivery? No, says Stefan Geldenhuis. Instead, the ball was not released by the Lions, so Western Province have the put in a rather precarious position. Close to the corner flag, in the corner.
Gee, it was looking ominous, that drive.
As ons gou voor kry daar. Ek weet jou adjudication was dat ons geval het.
Yes.
Maar as ons momentum kry, hulle ou druk ons af. So die collapse hulle die mol laat.
Ek is 100% met jou, maar dit is nie wat hier gebeur het.
Kyk, ek vra net in die vervolg.
Ek hoor jou.
Ek merk met jy.
Presies.
A very interesting conversation between the referee and the captain.
Can you translate that, Ross?
Yeah, I actually can. I actually can. So he says if we, I hear you when you say we took it down, but if the guys are getting pushed down, we shouldn't. It's not our fault. It's them taking it down. The ref said no, there was none of that. But it's an interesting question just to pose so that the referee can look at that the next time it happens.
And every right that Ronald Northnagel has, of course, of posing the question as captain of the side.
So it's good captaincy.
Turn in, okay? I will. Remember what I told you about the gap? Yeah.
You like the Afrikaans?
Well, you've stunned me into silence. Very good. Well done, my boy.
Crouch!
So Masimla will be thinking a little bit about the use of his right foot, but he's got Tim Sweel back in the in-goal area. The in-goal area is not that big, so there could be a lot of pressure here on the Western Province fly half. But of course, there's a lot of things that are going to happen before that, like you said, with a straight throw in at the line.
Well, the most important thing is the scrum now for Western Province. They've got to get a right shoulder. They've got to try hit it through the tight head, through Sazi Sandi. Get that side up, so at least you get that right shoulder. You cut off Sibusiso Sangweni, the open side flanker. from the Lions. You don't want to get him access to your far half.
Well, it's gone the opposite direction. Western Province have won the penalty. They didn't take the hit there, the Lions, so this is a big relief, one feels, for the halfbacks, of course. He would have been under a lot of pressure there, so Tim Sweel has a chance to get outside his 22.
Yeah, so the Lions there have been penalised for conceding that right shoulder, almost taking a step back, not absorbing it and allowing it to come around in the opposite direction to what Western Province ideally would want, and they've been penalised for it.
So a little committee meeting by Western Province prior to the line out. Jacques Vincel getting the message from Godlin Masimla. There's for Ryan with a catch.
Over.
I think carrying the ball through a few phases will help the cause of Western Province and allow them just to get a little bit of rhythm into their game.
Back.
Now up for it, Pinar. Well taken by the right winger.
Good tackle by Cornell Smith.
Mahamba looking for some big boys that he could send downfield.
Use it, 9.
Now it'll be a kick over the top. That's a pretty good kick as well onto Tim Sweel, who's unable to hold onto it. So referee playing advantage. It's good to see. Opportunity here for the Lions to open things up. Out from Swanepoel, Matt Moore. Now Quan Horn. That's a good kick from him as well. It could just go into touch and goal. Let's have a look at this. Whoa. Just stayed in field, so it had to be dotted down by Tristan Lades.
Yeah, the kick wasn't a bad option from Currie. Horn. It was just drifting across. No one had actually done a straightening line to fix that defence. And it's worked out well because it's going to be goal line dropout for Timothy Sweel.
It's one of the things that you need to practice these days, as well as your drop kicking. See how far you can get it downfield from your own goal line. I think of Fonstein, he's one that can really kick it a long way. That's not a bad effort either. Into the Lions' half by Tim Sweel. Now the charge from Emmanuel Shatuka. Found quite a lot of room to move in initially, as Swanepoel again made a real nuisance of himself. Now Edward van der Merwe back in field. This is going to be another try. It's going to be Quan Horn. And the Lions have now got 3.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant here from the Lions. The defensive organisation from Western Province. They sent 1 or 2 players up, they rushed. There was a staggered line, and Tian Swanepoel did the right thing. They've moved him into that number 10 jersey. They're giving him a chance. Here it is here. He spots the gap, runs for the space, gets into the space, and then is able to offload. Get that offload, and then Edward van der Merwe did absolutely brilliantly. Ran out wide, dragged the defence across, and then floated that pass into his fullback, Currie Horn. Superb stuff here from the Sigma Lions.
Those guys in the wider channels.
Well, it's taken them almost 10.5 games to get into a position where they look very much on top of things this season, the Sigma Lions. 17 points to 3. This could make it 19. Well, it hasn't only been about goal kicking as well, as he misses that one, Tian Swanepoel, but his general play has been quite outstanding tonight.
Yeah, and the communication there from Currie Horn. Once you're on the inside, your job is never over. You've got to hold that position, occupy that space, and communicate to the ball carrier. He received it from Edward van der Merwe and managed to get in.
Captain, we need to speed it up, please.
But it really was created by Tian Swanepoel. He didn't play into the face, he played into the space. He ran in and then was able to get his hands through and get that offload.
You spoke a little bit earlier as well about the defensive work of Western Province, which defensive organisation seems to be a little bit awry as things stand at the moment. The Lions have made full use of scoring 3 tries in the first half. Nohamba over the top. It's another very good kick that onto Tristan Lates. Fullback does well. Clean catch from him now from Musimla. Junior Pokomela hasn't seen much of the ball as of yet at number 8
You lost it.
for Western Province. Swiel. Sergio Peterson as well as another one out on the right wing, waiting for his opportunities too. Now Smith. Nice play from Smith. Weaves his way through those 2 tackles. He's still going. This is brilliant play. But where's the close-in support?
Play on. There was nothing.
Well, can they make something of it now? Tristan Lates gets caught in possession.
You're off, leave it now.
Well, Western Province just not in a good position to carry that ball forward. They've got a penalty. Musimla takes it.
Advantage.
The Lions are not back 10 metres. So here comes Smith again. Still trying to weave his way through the opposition.
Advantage.
This is a big test this for the Lions too, because if they can hold on here, it'll show that they've got some defensive mettle as well as the attacking capabilities.
Release it.
Ali for Mark. Now Jacques Van Zyl will look to try and work his way into. This is where patience is so important.
He's fine there. Jackler not rolling.
Big question, yeah, Warren. What do you do?
You can.
Now you got to back yourself and
You
go
have the
for
penalty here for not rolling, or over there for not 10.
and go for the points.
You want to go that one?
Whether you go line out option and then get the drive going.
Well, there are 2 opportunities for the penalties. One to the right of the post, one to the left. And this is the one they'll take so that they can set up the line out. And
What about that break from Cornell Smith?
brilliant.
Showed some great feet. Stepped, bobbed, weaved. This isn't just taking in
The line is the middle.
in the tight quarters where the penalty was conceded. Player slowing the ball down. Of course, the Western Province players pushing the ball into him to make it look worse than what it was, but it was a legitimate penalty and real opportunity now
You're good there.
for Western Province.
The Lions just a little bit quicker to the point of breakdown than Western Province at the moment, but we've seen how good Western Province can be from these balls from the line-outs.
That's
In the
one
last
stop.
2 seasons, it's been a real hallmark of their play, and here they come again.
Gotta
Pokomela
use it now.
supporting as well. Musimla wants it and gets it. Here's Cornell Smith.
Release
This
it.
time, no weaving from him.
No, you're off. Leave it. 30. Advantage.
It's another penalty now. Lions desperate in their defence.
You're on advantage.
And they are just so
Release
close,
it,
aren't
tackle.
they? Well, it's going to be another penalty. And are we going to see a yellow card?
No.
Or it'll be a
Don't speak
team
like that.
warning, maybe.
Okay, so guys are going off their feet, pass the ball and then they want to play it, and there's also no release. Yes, we need to get that picture right, please. Please speak to them. Yes, now, please.
Well, there were no words of a team warning. So it's just a little slap on the fingers to start with.
Yeah, it's an attempt by the Lions to try to slow that ball down.
Now, there's no injuries, please. There's no injuries. Speak and finish, please.
It's Western Province trying to create
Just
quick
go
break speed.
We talk.
Turn that ball over. Captain Reinhard Notti's tackle.
No, I just spoke to you. Not
No,
official.
they'll take some credit from their
Time is
defensive work there, Bros. The Lions were very good defensively.
Now putting the bodies on the line. The hands go down onto the ground, then it gets dragged back onto the ball. That's what's been penalised. You've got to support your own body weight. You
Don't
can't
go
rest
past the
against
5
on the
minutes.
ground
Stay there. Thank you.
in order to assume that position.
So now the Lions have conceded 6 penalties to Western Province's 5.
This is real good field position here for Western Province, the DHL Western Province team.
Crouch!
Got plenty options here.
They do too,
Fine!
but they need a steady and sturdy
Sit.
scrum to start with. Held at the back by Pokomela.
Use it, no dominance.
Oh, I'm not so sure. Maybe not initially. Now Tristan Lates tries to go for himself. Oh my goodness.
Time is off.
This is going to be a very interesting thing. The corner flag means nothing. Don't worry about the fact that he touched that. Perfectly legal to do so.
Because I have it as held up.
Did he get that
Held
ball
up, so it's a goal
down?
line dropout. Okay. Right, no try. Held up, goal line dropout.
Okay,
No.
well, early call
Was
from
on the
Stefan
shoulder.
Geldenes.
Met 'n messies van boks af.
Another little
Goal line
victory, a
dropout.
small victory for the Lions.
Now, Tristan Lates, he's only 74, 75 kgs, he's light, but he gets held up there by Tian Swanepoel, gets a hand underneath it so that he can't get downward pressure. He nearly got it there. Did Tristan Lates. We hear the call from TMO, Marius van der Westhuizen, you don't need to come up, it's all clear.
Yeah, they got that spot on too, and it's so good to see that
Great
we can
call.
have continuity
Top call.
with the game and not a long hold up.
And to have the confidence to back yourself on that call as well.
Yeah, Yoshimanga from the left wing.
He's got that.
And so another penalty against the Lions. I think Odsford Ryan's just making sure that the referee realizes how often the Lions are being penalized.
That's big Ruben Skumon.
Well, the longer this continues as well, Warren, with the Western Province not scoring enough points now, the more of a victory it's going to feel for the Lions too, defensively.
That's a good period of play though for Western Province. They just need to come away from this with the 5-7 pointer that they're looking for. That's the run of penalties. 5 of them consecutively against the Sigma Lions.
From Sale, catch by Namakaba. Just a different line-out option for them.
That's once.
They need to regroup and get this ball back in field. But the Lions have stood very steady. There's Shimanga.
Oh, he's a handful.
Now from Ryan. It's better play this from Western Province, but they're not getting men to the breakdown point quickly enough to secure the possession, and now it's been turned over once again.
Just stay there.
Nohamba looking
Play
to
it.
look over the top. He has a quick glance back to see who's in a position for him to pass to and who's there. But of course, Tian Swanepoel. He's had an incredible 30 minutes, Tian Swanepoel, hasn't he?
No, he's been one of the standout players at the moment. Been involved in everything. Involved in 2 of the tries that have been scored. Great defensive work there from Emmanuel Shatuka. He was the man that scooped that ball out and won it for them in the defensive position.
Good. Okay. Time is still on. Yes.
Again, I think just highlights the importance of your tight forwards and the role that they can play in general play. That just takes so much pressure off everybody else.
Take
But I have no doubt Western Province don't seem to be getting to that breakdown point quickly enough
inside here, please.
in the right number of players. Taken at the top by Tiernison and then knocked on by Tim Swill, uncharacteristically so.
Oh, he's not going to be happy with that, Tim Swill. Took the ball on the drift. He was thinking of what he was going to do with it before he'd actually
That was a
caught it.
perfect scrum, the last one. Stay like that, please. There we
There's an
go.
opportunity here for the Lions. They can win this cleanly, they can drill this downfield, restart the play back in the province half. It'll be a psychological win
Stay on your
for
side,
them,
please.
the one
Don't
that you
go past
mentioned. From all the defensive work they've done and the attack that's come from this DHL Western Province team.
I think they might even be quite keen to run it if they get decent possession.
Crouch!
Just they've got the speed and power of Stian Pienaar and Edwil van der Merwe on the wings.
Number 1. 1 early.
Ali Vermaak penalised for scrumming early.
Scrum call.
Oh, that's interesting. The Lions have asked for a scrum.
Yeah, I know you got some pressure from
outside
behind,
their
but we need to get it
22.
right, please.
Yeah, so either you're going to take a quick tap or you're going to put one up in the air And they feel that their scrum, they've got a lot of confidence in the performance of their eight of their scrum, the ability of their front row to dictate which shoulder will be received, and from there to play with these players all in a condensed area and having space on the field.
Bind. Sit.
Yeah, they're on a run, aren't they? So, do they run with it?
Go use it. No, use it. Stay there.
Oh, come on, now Swanepoel.
Backline, you're offside.
Well, Western Province penalised once again for being offside. So this time they won't take a scrum. They'll just hammer it down towards the corner flag, courtesy of Swanepoel. It's a pretty good kick that from Swanepoel. He can't do much wrong thus far in the game.
Yeah, so the game's going to resume 5 or 6 metres outside that 22. From a Western Province point of view, from a coaching point of view, from Jerome Parvot, he's going to be so frustrated. His players get themselves offside, they're just a little bit eager. But it's 2 soft moments. It's just released the pressure that they were applying on this Lions side. A little knock on from Tim Squeal, a penalty, and next thing you're just outside your own 22, defending yet again.
So the Lions have decided to go with a short line out. Just Notnagel in there and Ruben Skuman, but it's gone to the front. They've done really well here. Caught Western Province unawares, one feels. Now Matt Moore. Slow delivery for Nohamba. So the big boys will take it up. Seen a lot of JP Smith carrying the ball this evening for the Lions. Now Franco Horn. There certainly seems to be a calmness about this Sigma Lions team too in their execution. They're doing things at pace, but they certainly look like they're controlling the ball well too. Horn, now Pinar, brought down by Shimanga. Skuman standing off. This time Namakaba right over that ball, but referee has penalised Western Province.
Number 2 roll.
That's a pity from DHL Western Province.
Captain.
That was infringing the ball though.
No, he was on the ball. No, on the ball. No problem with that.
It was far better defensive set though from Province. They had some stuff in power. He was on the ball. It was Namakaba.
He was, very much so, and I think he was worried whether he was the man being penalised, but he wasn't. It was Jacques Van Sale who was lying on the other side of the tackled player. So that might be a little bit of a roughie against Western Province, that one. Anyway, Swanepoel is slap up front to get his first penalty success of the evening. Into the 20s they go, do the Sigma Lions, and it's been an excellent first half for them thus far. Up it goes to Ruben Skuman. And that pass going straight into touch, sadly. So it's going to be a throw-in there for Western Province. Desperately need to score a try.
Come here, please.
Or two, maybe, before half-time.
UT Oaks needs to stop doing this when we're getting a line out, pushing each other. Got it? Is that clear?
Oh, 2 scrum halves. How could they ever stop it? It's in their nature. Godwin Masemla, Sonhil Nohamba.
Well, I can tell you what, a little bit earlier on, you know, with the line-out calls, somebody runs to the hooker to tell him where he's going to throw it. So Nohamba standing there, listening in to what Masimla is going to say, to pushed him away and said, "You've got no right to be here." Feisty little guys, scrum halves, they can be. So can Western Province get some points on the board. And that one little passage where things went pretty well for them, but without any points. Now it's Cornell Smith again. You can see how well organized the Lions are defensively. Marcel Tennyson taking it up. Now Sweel thinks about a little inside pass and then sees a half gap. This is better play, this from Western Province. They're getting players on the front foot and quicker to the point of breakdown.
He was on his feet.
Now some outstanding play there from Sibusiso Sangweni.
No, he's loving it as well as Sangweni. Half files all around. We spoke about his work rate. Both him and Shatuka good on the ground. Spoke about the defensive set from the Lions. Of course, former Springbok Jacques Currie is the man that's doing the defensive work at the Lions.
Well done, Jacques. I can tell you what, they've really looked the part this evening.
We're not scrumming now. Let's play.
Thus far. But as I said earlier, you know, we've had so many games of two halves in this year's Carling Currie Cup.
Thank you.
Anything could happen.
There he goes, and hands straight in on the ball. Scooped it and dragged that ball back. Did Sangweni, wins the penalty. Good technique there by the open side flanker.
He plays with so much passion, doesn't he?
Oh, he's hard, he's tough, he's robust, he gets stuck in, and he's got a big heart.
A little Sunday afternoon stroll to the line-out, which we saw from Western Province, and we see now from the Lions. Again, they've gone the shorter line-out route. Franco Horn can't reach it. The bounce doesn't favour the Lions. Namakaba taking it up.
He's had a good game.
Musumla. Cornell Smith, the long pass. Then coming back in field is Jean de Jong. I just think Western Province have got to think about committing a few more players to the breakdown point a little bit quicker. They maybe purposefully are not committing too many, but they are not able to control their possession well enough. When they do get things going,
no, you missed it, leave it.
Then we see a lot more action from them. There's Audrey Smith. Well, little knock-ons don't help your cause either, do they?
That's been the difference between these two teams, is when they get themselves into strike position, the small little mistakes or errors, or not finishing it off from Western Province. Here, Audrey Smith goes in, heavy contact, and coughs the ball up. Leads with that ball into contact. So important to protect it as you go into that contact area. Try and move it back, drop the shoulder in, fend off a hand, protect that ball.
Oh, 4 handling errors to Western Province, just the 1 to the Lions. And in the background, we hear the hooter for half-time.
No, you will step closer now. Yeah, thanks.
It is the Sigma Lions put in at the scrum, so I'm fairly sure they will just kick it out.
Shoulders out.
Go into half-time with a nice 17-point lead.
Crouch. Bind. Sit. Stay there, 9.
Swanepoel sticks it into touch. And they'll go and have a quick cup of tea. Ivan van Rooyen will be very happy with that first half. There's no doubt about it, but he'll want to sustain it. And Jerome Parvata, well, I'm sure he's got plenty in his notebook to discuss with his team now at halftime. So at Emirates Airline Park then, it's halftime here with the Lions leading Western Province by 20 points to 3.
Y'all know what time it is. Time for you and your team to answer the call.
It's the dawn of a new era.
Yeah, it's crunch time, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Who wants that smoke? Because it ain't for everyone.
Oh, what a game we have on our hands.
Who's taking the talents to the finals?
This is a Super Rugby classic.
Welcome to the show. DHL Super Rugby Pacific, live on Sky Sport. Coverage brought to you by Bunnings Warehouse.
Tonight on Prime News, major problems at Christchurch Hospital as shortages of staff and beds hit just before winter. In Texas, the funerals begin for the 19 children and 2 teachers killed in their classroom by a teenage gunman. And while the Queen prepares for her Jubilee, Kiwi Republicans push their case for an end to our royal ties. We have those stories and a wrap of the day's sport. He te pone i ngorongo a taumata.
Life's not about competition, Ollie, and you win. You have a baby.
This is a lot.
If you're freaking out, can you just tell me that you're freaking out?
Just teaching teenagers the meaning of life.
School, mothering, Superwoman.
Wednesday, Bump on Vibe.
The LPGA on Sky Sport gives you a front row seat to the Co Show.
Lydia Ko, one of the great rounds you're going to see.
Oh, what a shot. She's a savant.
Wonderful.
See the stars of the LPGA from the best seat in the house. All season long, live on Sky Sport.
Welcome back to Emirates Airlines Park, where the Lions, surprisingly for a lot of people, are leading Western Province by 20 points to 3. They've scored 3 tries, and I'll tell you what, they've been absolutely full value for those 20 points. They had an excellent first half. Western Province had one that they'll want to forget. And as I mentioned to Warren Brosnan early in our commentary, we've had so many games of 2 halves during the course of this Carling Currie Cup. One wonders if we're going to see another one.
Well, the Western Province would certainly want to have a better second half. They brought the possession stats fairly level, almost at 50-50. It's 48 against 52. They've made the Lions, they've been asked to make more tackles at the Lions. But it's just when the Lions have had the ball, they've looked more assertive, they've looked like they've had more rhythm, and they've been able to go and strike and go and get the score. Western Province have certainly put themselves into field position. They've got into the 22, but they've just had no rhythm. They've been unable to finish off the movements that they've had. There's been a little knock-on. They concede a penalty, and it's been good defense from this Lions side. So Western Province aren't far out of it. It's just they've got to get that rhythm. They've got to get a little bit sharper with their passing and make sure that they send numbers into the breakdown.
Well, Warren, I think, the things that you've mentioned, they missed 8 tackles, 4 handling errors, 8 penalties that they've conceded, and perhaps that has just slowed down the rhythm of their team in that first half. Anyway, it's a new game again in the second half as Tim Swill gets things underway. And a very decent kick in as well onto Franco Horn. So Nana Nohamba, no doubt enjoying himself at his new province, having left the Sharks. Downfield from Quan Horn. So Tristan Lades, and then through the hands of Swill. There's Ebenezer Shimanga on debut tonight for Western Province. First start for him. For Mark. Are they going to play the ball out wide? Is that going to be part of their intention? I think cutting down their error base might be more important than anything else. Well, that's going to be a penalty to the Lions then.
We lost it now.
No, the Lions had it, but they've lost it. For Mark, again, Swill. Now Juan de Jong with a long pass. Oh dear. Knocked on by Namat Baba.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the wide ball was the money ball either. There was a 3-on-2 there. Needed to go through the hands, get it into the hands, and then try create some space for Namakaba instead of getting the ball straight to him on a long looping pass that dipped down by his bootlaces. Here the Lions almost got in. Ruan Dreyer almost stole this ball, almost had it in his hands, and eventually just let it go. And it became Western Province ball.
Did you like the way he was looking there to see what the referee was saying?
He was listening to the ref as well. Namakaba, though, has had a really good game. He's been, as a captain, he's led from the front, he's carried the ball, he's competed at breakdown.
Work on the angle that side, please.
Yeah, perhaps the most frustrating thing for Western Province has been the defensive organisation of the Lions. They really have stood really well defensively.
Well, when it's counted, they've missed the odd tackle and they've allowed that line break.
More shoulder one. I need more shoulder there, please.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
So
We
no
need a clear gap
changes
for him to go in.
at half time then. I don't think. I'm just having a look through the players that are out there at the moment. Well, Morne Brandon's off.
PJ Boita on in that hooking position. Morne Brandon, I thought, was good
He was,
in
did
that
he?
first half.
He was, yeah.
Crouch.
Did a lot of good work.
Bind.
So PJ Boita has sneaked on too for the Sigma Lions. Well, down it goes, but the ball's available. No, it's going to go to Western Province.
Yeah, Ruan Dreyer is the man that's been penalised. His feet were too far back.
Number 3.
Couldn't hold it. You hear the ref saying overextended.
Well, just have a look at the field there where Tim Swill's taking the kick at the bottom of your screen. That was from that scrum when Andrea fell backwards.
Yeah, and 2 elephants dance. The field is the one that suffers. This is it here. Feet too far back from Dreyer. He goes down, battles to hold it up.
Yeah. Middle. Open. Open, please.
So Nella Nohamba continues to hang around the hooker at line out time to try and hear what the call is.
He's that rotating guy.
He really is quite fast.
He's performing it.
So Evans van Ryan, that's good ball that now quickly out from Tim Swill.
No, he's on the ball. Play on.
John de Jong taking it in. Now Marcel Tienersen.
Vantage.
Kaba. This is better from Western Province, really trying to burst through those early tackles of the Lions.
Off feet. We're killing it. Play.
So a quick take from Tienersen. He's done really well there, but there wasn't again close in support for him to offload if needed. But still they come with Pokomela. And once again it's Namakaba right up there with them.
Held up.
Wow. The direct route was the right route there for Western Province.
Held up.
We've spoken about the ruck and them.
He needs to travel 5 meters. The goal line dropout needs to travel 5 meters.
Yeah, well done, Stefan Geldenhuis.
Yeah, that is very well done.
Because it's when you kick the drop from your try line, it has to travel a minimum of 5 meters, which it didn't do. Of course, they took the little tap. Here's the short one. Lots of open territory, and then just carry on from there, but you can't do that.
Thanks. Let's go,
Yeah,
guys.
it's well done by Stefan Geldenhuis. I think even the players weren't aware of that.
Well, they should be.
Again, Sanela Nahamba was in amongst all those Western Province forwards, listening to exactly what they were saying. Oh, he's a cheeky little guy. I tell you, I spoke to him before, and he says he's loving it up there, staying in Santon, loving a new lease on life as a rugby player. And it's a real opportunity for him that the Lions Rugby Union have given him, and one that he can certainly flourish in.
So what, he was the #1 scrum half with the Sharks 2 years ago, and then ended up being like #4 maybe. As a professional player, you've got to go and earn your keep wherever it's suitable for you, and this could work for him still. Now Lates kept it in the field. Lovely play from Sergio Peterson. That's much better that from Western Province now with a pick and drive. They've got them in standing off. Sazi Sundhi now with a catch. Support play coming there from the ever-present Namakaba, and then Jacques Van Zyl. He's just short.
Short again.
Well, once again they're short. Can you believe it? On 2 occasions now, everybody trying to get over themselves.
Stay behind the line.
Is there any wisdom in trying to play it a little bit wider? For the 4th time then, they end up millimeters short to Western Province. Tienersen waiting for it.
Let's go back for advantage.
Gee, surely he's got to go up and just have a look.
Not bound. You need
Came
to stay
so
bound with the scrum,
close.
please.
This is the offload here to Van Zyl. How did he not get over? That must have been over.
I think he might well have been over on that occasion, to be honest with you, and then the ball came backwards. But this was how close they were.
No, that's numerous penalties now. Off you go. Not rolling.
Okay, the yellow card has now finally come out. Ruben Skuman is the man penalised.
Not rolling. Scrum call. Scrum call.
It's a crucial part in the game at the moment with Ruben Skuman going off. Western Province have got to go and fetch the try and then get themselves back into this position. There, that looks like that's a try. That's on the line.
Absolutely does, yeah. That's why your point, I think, is a very valid one too. I know we want to keep the momentum of the game going.
You want an official review?
The TMO is asking for it.
Okay, so Marius, my on-field decision is no try. I've got it short. If you can advise me otherwise.
Okay, just give me a second.
Okay.
Well, the question is it the first one, the second one? Well, you could say
or even the third one.
Or the fourth one.
Cheapers, because there were some that were right on that line.
I think Jacques Van Sales won there.
It's coming on the screen now, Stefan.
This particular one.
Yeah, there's control there. It's on. That looks like it's on the line to me.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Marius, I see that ball grounded partially on the line. Do you agree?
Just give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. That's a try.
So Marius, I see the ball was partially grounded on the line there. Do you agree with me?
That's correct. We've got a clear grounding.
Okay, so I may award a try.
You can award the try.
Thank you. Try. Ons gaan nou praat. Ons gaan eers die conversion vat.
So the try has now been awarded.
Op pad halflyn toe.
I'm not 100% sure who is credited with that try.
I think they wanted to give it to Namachaba.
Yeah. Okay.
Either way, it's great reward for this Western Province team. And the beauty for Western Province as well is they get the points. They get the points on the scoreboard, can go for the extra 2 attempts, will get themselves back and try utilise this time while Ruben Skuman is off with that yellow card. They want to maximise this 10-minute period. It's already down to 9-10 that they have the numerical advantage.
And they also want to extract from their mind the fact that the last time they scored some points, almost immediately a try was scored by the Lions in comeback style.
The Lions are in no rush at all to get back to that halfway line. But good reward for their captain Namachaba to get the score.
So Western Province into double figures then. And they wouldn't mind another 7-pointer before Ruben Skuman comes back onto the field. Here's Marcel Tiernissen. Some of the passing of Western Province hasn't always been that slick too. Gaba did well there. Took that pass a little bit above his head. Now Gwanlun Masimla will look for the kick over the top. No, he won't. It'll be Tim Sweel, in fact, who does that. And there's a pretty good job as well with the kick. Just having a look at Emmanuel Shimanga as well. As you said, Warren, he's just 19 years of age. He's a big unit for a left winger. And I think he'll be very happy with the few efforts that he's been given in this game.
No, he's shown a great turn of pace. He's big, he's strong, he's 104 kgs. Come through the junior ranks. And a real opportunity here for him, and he's taken it at the moment. He has stood out in that first half.
So a short line out once again for the Lions. And they decide to go to the front. To some Shatuka, rather. That's good play there from the Lions. Out from Nahamba. Matt Moore caught in possession by 2 Western Province players. All just a little bit tight at the moment, and they'll be happy with that. PJ from Sale, is that a high tackle on him? Well, the Lions certainly looking to continue with the good rhythm that they had in that first half. Swanepoel. Now Quan Horn. Looks for the pop pass to Ron Dreyer, but there's been a knock on.
Always tough. You get yourself into that position. You're on the inside receiver. You see your man going into contact, and you come in to almost do the rip, and then the ball gets popped up to you. Rowan Dreyer, he's standing there. Ball hits his forehead.
It's only the second handling error for the Lions tonight, so they've been pretty adept at keeping the ball alive and in hand.
Oh, that's a great stat, and we've actually seen their front row. I know the knock-on there came from Rowan Dreyer, but we've seen some lovely hands from Rowan Dreyer and from JP Smith carrying the ball up and being used as ball carriers. And good to see some of the youngsters at the stadium here at Emirates Airline Park, an iconic stadium. Of course, you've got that big test match which is going to happen here with the Springboks against New Zealand later in the year. Wow, that's going to be something special.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah, it's been a long wait, I think, for so many people for the big matches where they can actually come into the stadium, and hopefully by that point in time there won't be any restrictions on people coming in to enjoy their rugby. Got to get the kiss cam out, don't we?
Oh, you reckon?
Now, what does Musimla do here? He's in his own half of the field. He's got Tristan Glade standing by. Open side's got an extra man at Western Province.
Advantage.
There's a penalty advantage here, so well, they'll come back for that now.
Number one, straight in.
And again, it'll be a question of how best can we go about Sanele Nahamba. Oh dear, what's going on with the little fella?
We need to get a little camera that just follows Sanele Nahamba, I reckon. It was off screen, unfortunately, you didn't see it, but he was up to mischief again.
Yeah, and I think somebody tripped him too, so he went flying. Tim Swill makes sure of the touch finder.
Let's go, boys! Get it up!
Are we going to see a fight back from Western Province?
Well, they're getting themselves into field position at the moment.
No. You're looking for trouble.
Big smile on his face. You watch him come back here. He gives one of the guys a little flick on the head, tips it, and then he gets pushed, and over he goes.
Right, taken there by Andrew Smith. That's a little bit better from Western Province in doing things at pace now, finding some gaps. Here's Sergio Peterson. And Tristan Late's caught in possession. He's done really well, the fullback, to stay in field. He's not the biggest of fellows.
Tackle now, tackle 5.
Now Makaba, the carrier. Musimla, Swiel. Marcel Tennyson has done a lot of hard yards for Western Province. But just taking the ball through a few phases now, I'm able to spread it a little bit wider. It looks like their rhythm is far better in the second half, Western Province. Musimla. Just the little pop passes, not much room to move in. And again, the Lions' defence holds. Yes, Sazi Sandi. Oh, that's brilliant play, that. The Lions have managed to wrest that ball back. And Quan Horn just hoofs it downfield. That's a fantastic kick from the fullback.
Oh, that's so demoralising for this Western Province side. Trying to land a punch, trying to get into position. Ball gets stealed and then stolen, and then what a kick from Quan Horn. They've got to restart back from their own territory.
Now you must remember as well, there's a couple of guys in the opposition who the Lions guys have played against at school level. Boys at Paul Roos or at Paul Boys High. Quan Horn is one of them, of course. A couple of their former schoolmates that they're playing against too. There's certainly a lot of competition out there.
Over. Sideways once.
Lions holding well
Use it
from
now.
this ball, so Musimla's going to have to use it. He's got Smith standing off. Now Swiel with a long pass out to Lates. He can be dangerous in these situations. Tristan Lates decides to go with the grubber kick downfield and just idles into touch.
You want a 50-22, there's one. Taken quickly by Western Province.
front of the mark.
Oh,
Yeah, they'll have to come back.
wow. The strategy there is good.
Time off.
You're going to go and have a look at this. He gets the ball. And he's going to grubber it through from behind his own halfway
Number
line.
1,
This rolls out in the 22.
Number 9 and number 12, Sap. Wag net gou, laat ons net een nummer
So it's
slaan.
then line out feed for Western Province.
It does still on Pino. He leaves the ball. So it's picked up.
Oh,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that ball.
Unless he hasn't thrown it from the right mark.
Okay.
Western Province in the meanwhile bring on the bomb squad.
When the ball was clearly in front of the mark. Okay, so that's a wrong throw.
The problem was the line out wasn't taken from the right place. It was taken from a metre or so in front of where it rolled out.
Should be on ball. When it's on the ball, so you can't take a quick take off.
So Keke Marabi
Yeah, you can.
on for
So
Western
nobody
Province, and then
So he played the
Humber
ball, but he was in front of the mark.
leaves
So
the
it's an incorrect throw.
game. Rickers Pretorius on as well, bringing a lot of experience onto the field.
Yeah, Ben Jason Dixon at 19.
Well, also a very mobile player, Ben Jason Dixon, so a useful man to bring onto the field. And Junior Pokomela, his day is done as well with Marabi in his place. Just a 21-year-old Keke Marabi, another guy with oodles of potential.
Ball.
Well taken from Emmanuel Shatuka. Just gives that extra line-out option for the Lions. Good work from PJ Buerta. Monet Brandon van der Berg rather also on the park. He's had an excellent season, I've got to say, Monet van der Berg. Played most of his rugby, of course, in the URC team for the Lions. In Swanepoel, well, he's certainly probably been their best player tonight.
Yeah, he's had a really good first half. That was a very useful kick from his in-goal area.
Thank you.
So just the 7 points scored then in the second half with a try from Kaba, converted by Swill. The only points we've seen as of yet. It's almost reaching a breaking point somewhere along the line. Which way is this game going to go? Western Province a little bit more territory domination in the second half compared to the first.
Yeah, lots more possession as well.
And better rhythm, one's got to say too. Pernell Smith finding his way through the early gap. Then Marcel Tienison. Swill looking for a change of direction. Now the little chip and chase. Which way does it bounce? Favorably for the Lions. There's Con Horn. He's hammered into touch. Hammered into touch.
That's a good result for Western Province. Put the little kick through. Taken by Van den Berg, but he's bundled out into touch. There's the little kick from Sergio Peterson. Bounces, collected and tackled into touch.
And Ruben Skuman's back on the park, so it's 15 against 15 again. And it's at a time where the Lions desperately need him. It's a line out in the 22 of the Lions. Jacques Van Zyl, he's got Ben Jason Dixon in the middle of that line out, but it goes to Ernst van Ryan. This is much better from Western Province. They've kept their feet. They've got some motion on that ball. Everybody's shouting from the side. Well, the refs picked that up now, so it's a penalty advantage to Western Province. Now, can they find their way through with a change of direction? Yes, Tristan Lates. Well, there would have been an interesting race, but the referee's whistle has spoilt it.
Be careful, you just got a yellow card. And already you're in from the side here.
Ruben Skuman warned by the referee, coming in from the side.
Yeah, referee Stefan Kolonis was playing. Advantage taken quickly by Western Province. Oh, they're going to make it over the line. I think it was Marcel Tennyson.
Quick take from him. Now another chance and another effort at going at the line. Once again, they are millimeters short. Sandy can't get it down. Can somebody find a way through here?
We're talking millimeters.
Brilliant defense from the Lions. It's got to break somewhere along the line, surely. Once again, another solid tackle, and they keep going blindside. Ernst van Rijn taking it in. Everybody looking for their opportunities. Jacques van Zyl standing by, looking for the support. This is incredibly good defensive work, this from the Lions, even although they're now on another penalty advantage. Swill, the long pass. Can they find a way through here? Cornell Smith. Oh, they'll come back for that penalty. And are we going to see another yellow card?
It was a really good tackle by Manny Rice.
Okay, so the penalties are building up again. Next one who finishes here is going to go to the bin again. Please.
Mama!
Okay, well, that's very clear message then. And Ruben Skuman would have heard that too, because he's just come out of the bin. He doesn't want to go back into it again.
Yeah, 14 penalties against 8 at the moment. That penalty count is escalating, as is the tackles asked of this Lions team, up at 93 tackles as opposed to the 58 tackles that Western Province have been asked to make.
Otherwise you'll quick that.
You talk about a change. There's definitely been one in the second half. All the possession, all the pressure coming from the team from Cape Town at the moment.
Another game of two halves.
Number 3, White. Who's White? Okay, number 3, time is off.
So Asanati Ntabakanya is coming on.
Hold on.
He'll be in place of Ruan
Throw,
Dreyer.
please. Ashley,
Ashley
hold him.
sole Springbok in the Lions team, having played 4 test matches for South Africa. Of course, Asanati Ntabakanya is a big fella.
138 kgs.
And former South Africa, also a former junior Springbok.
Use it now!
Out from Masimla. Smith. Looked quite incisive at times, has Cornell Smith.
Kekemurabe.
Tiernison standing off, also has carried well. Dixon. Now change of direction. Again, it's great defensive work this by the Lions. How much longer can they hold? Well, they've now turned it over. Brilliant from them. Downfield from Morne van der Berg. And slap into touch.
Taken quickly.
Tristan Lays with that long pass over the top. My goodness. A bit of basketball there. Now, what direction do they go in? Well, that's gone straight into touch, and the net result is probably a loss of 5 meters.
You got your advantage. Your option to kick.
That was unnecessary. That quick play of the ball didn't put them in a strong position, put them in a weak position. There was a lot of defense coming down on them. The kick chase was good from the Lions. And I think that stanza of play really wraps up what this Lions team is all about at the moment. There's a lot of heart, there's a lot of courage, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of character. Teammates putting their bodies on the line for each other. Western Province were trying to ask a few questions, getting very close to that try line. You just feel at times they were a bit static with the first receiver getting the ball flat-footed.
Manny Ras for the catch over the top. One's got to give credit, and I keep saying it, but the Lions' defense has been absolutely outstanding tonight. They really have stood well. And properly organized too. Now, it's been turned over by Western Province. Out from Tiernison. Here's Tristan Lates. Masimla. Too many players in a standing position at the moment. So again, it's the long pass out to Sergil Peterson. And yet another handling error. So the handling error is starting to mount now.
Yeah, I've got HP van Schoor that's going to come on in jersey number 16 to replace Jacques van Zyl. Now, you mentioned those handling errors when they're running at 3 times the number of handling errors that we've seen from the Lions side. And Ruben Skuman.
So again?
A little bit of a niggle.
Hier's te veel manne wat nou sit. Bal was lank in play geweest.
Well, there's a lot of players down, as you can see on the right of your screen there, with what looks like cramp. And certainly in the case of one of them, it's cramp.
The field is very well grassed, and as you mentioned before the game, there's been no rain, but there was dew on the field. It was very wet. Awesome conditions for rugby tonight.
Well, we've seen 4 tries. One's got to say 3 brilliant tries from the Lions in the first half. And the second half has shown that only Western Province, with their solitary try by Captain Kaba, they're waiting to bring on a couple of replacements as well.
Please.
In terms of Kwenzo Bloze, Marvin Mazabuka, and also Thomas Bursey, who'll be on at scrum half in place of Godlin Masimla. So some late changes being made, yeah. I'll say late changes.
1 is going, 3 is going.
Changes being made by Jerome Parvata in the hope that they can narrow that lead somewhat.
Yeah, well, in the context of this Carling Currie Cup, it's crucial from a Western Province point of view that they get the victory here to try and stay in this competition. They need the victory, but they also need the bonus point. Sitting trailing at 10 points, less than 18 minutes to go. They really need to up the ante and try get some points.
Time on. Stay on the left of this, please. Thank you. New guys, slow calls and patience, please.
A little warning from the referee there to the new guys. Very kind one message, I've got to say. Sometimes you hear from the referee, everything was fine until you guys came on. So Van der Berg with Franco Horn at the back there, just trying to hold up that scrum. It's well done by Van der Berg.
Too quick.
The Western Province are on a penalty advantage against them.
You're on advantage, Red.
And again, I think it's an offside penalty. Western Province standing very, very flat. Sonati and Tabakanya taking it in. Swanepoel.
Under pressure all time, backline on the scrum offside.
Yeah, so the law for rugby, you've got to have your backline.
Backline on the scrum offside.
5 meters behind the 8th man's feet. That's your 8th man's feet. But the converse also applies. Your attack has also got to be 5 meters behind on attack, and I don't think the attack was.
While the scrum is in motion, yeah.
The backline was offside. Funny scrum off.
So there's the message that's been passed to Ernst van Rijn, who asked the question. And I think the Lions have done exactly the right thing here off screen at the moment as we see them going in, but they've decided they're going to kick it goal. And why not? Push that lead up to 13 points.
Yeah, it's an important decision and a good decision from Reinhard Nochnagel. They've had so little ball. They can emerge with points here. Use it to break the momentum that Western Province are trying to generate.
Well, they've maybe broken that momentum, but they've also just scored their very first points of the second half. So a little bit of extra work now for Western Province to do. They would have worked that out on their calculator as 2 converted tries to get into the lead without reply. Oh dear. Ruben Skuman, rather Franco Horn, will have to do a little bit of work on his footballing skills.
Trying to trap it with his feet, he's got to get behind the ball. And a little bit of a shake of the head from Franco Horn.
I think there was as well from Tim Swiel when he kicked that. It was a bit of a vur-vur kick.
Ek manage nummers vir julle. Can we fall?
Yeah, he didn't even touch the ball because it's going to be line-out feed for the Lions.
Well, some weary troops out there. Less than 15 minutes to go in this game.
Here's the mark. Come closer.
And PJ Botha with the throw-in. They've favoured the short line out as this game has progressed. Have the Lions, as Nochnagel makes 100% sure. And Jan Swanepoel, well, not his best kick of the night. So the final
Number
man
12.
off the bench for DHL Western Province
12.
is Manombo Zwelindaba, who's a natural centre three-quarter. So he'll come on for Cornell Smith.
Our former SA Schools and Junior Bok, Zwelindaba. Cornell Smith, I think, had a good game. Gave some good carry.
Van Spoor's throw-in is secured by Western Province.
That's one stop.
And while that ball remains in motion, Western Province will be happy, and so will the referee. But down it goes, and they've gone into touch, I think, so that might be a throw into the Lions.
No. We started it.
You know, one always wants to look back at something like that and say, well, poor execution, because we've actually lost possession now. But they're just trying to get that line out in motion there around Ben Jason Dixon. It just didn't work. So once again, the defense of the Lions, and when they look back, and if they win this match, they're going to certainly say to themselves, well, we've won this through very, very solid defense.
Yeah, definitely.
Good clean possession as well from Tabakanya. Thunderbad.
Offside!
Back to Tian Swanepoel. That's come off the side of his boot. So Peterson. Now Lates. Tries to find a little bit of space, Tristan Lates. It wasn't easy for him to offload. But again, it's another penalty. So the penalty is now starting to go in favour of the Lions, more so than Western Province.
Yeah, it's a game at the moment, just sitting and simmering at the moment, waiting for some sort of catalyst just to ignite it.
Here he is.
And Tian Swanepoel is going to step up. He's got a massive, massive boot. There's just Tristan Late trying to take the ball forward, holds onto it. It's Tian Swanepoel who's won the penalty. He's also going to go and try and kick to add the extra 3. And it's an absolute monster. 55, 56 meters.
I've only seen 2 guys consistently kick this distance at altitude. Tian Swanepoel is one of them, so he might not have a problem with the distance here at all. And the other is...
25 seconds.
Does he play for the Cheetahs?
He probably does.
Big Frans Steyn.
Yeah, Frans Steyn's another. And both of them are very, very accurate kickers from distance too. This could be a really important three-pointer too if he does get it over. I got no problem with the distance at all. It's a monster kick and a great one from Swanepoel.
No, he's had a top game as Tian Swanepoel. We spoke about the opportunity he's been given to take that number 10 jersey, to do it in combination of Sanele Nomhamba, who's now left the field and been replaced by Morne van den Berg. But what a kick from Swanepoel.
Jared Cairns on the park as well, in place of Sibusiso Sangweni.
Come on. You can go.
Once again has given absolutely everything.
It's good work by Mani Russ.
Yeah, excellent play from him since he's come on. He's been quite involved as Mani Russ.
Use it.
Also a man who comes from down in the Western Cape.
14 is on.
Up for it, Pinar. Well, it's a poor bounce for Western Province. And here comes Swanepoel now. Van Horn. Look to line up a kick. He's done really well, the fullback. He's not a big fellow, but he carries the ball so well. Always finds a little bit of space.
It's a pity about that high tackle. There was a good kick chase there from Western Province. Almost cut Kieran Horn off.
Quenza Blose, the man penalised. And Swanepoel with a chase back into their own half of the field again for Western Province.
Yeah, this is a little high tackle. He'll step inside, and Quenza Blose just comes over the line of the shoulder. No malice intended. But to the letter of the law, it is a penalty.
So the Lions quite happy to just idle their way to that line out. This time they looks like they're going with a full complement.
Guys, space wasn't the issue.
for 70 minutes. Let's open up, please. There's the mark. Open, please. No, open. You come closer. Hey!
PJ Botha. Ruben Scum on the target, as he so often has been during the course of this match, in the front of the line out. This is much better from the Lions. Really going well. Tabakanya helping things with that 138 kilograms to Jes van der Berg.
Backwards.
Lovely pass there, neat little pass that 2-1's got to say.
Advantage, just a knock on. No, no, no.
Still they come. Franco Horn, lovely play from him. They could finish this off. And yeah, they do. It's Tian Swanepoel. He's had the game of his life tonight.
Gee, all the defence from Western Province stood off. They stood off the attack as if they thought that the referee was going to blow his whistle. The Lions just continued to play. Morne van den Berg went that short side and found his fly half.
We will do so.
Tian Swanepoel.
The ball was backwards there.
Tian Swanepoel's not wasting any time. He's getting that kick over as quickly as possible.
Well, you know, if you consider that at the moment the Lions have got 4 tries, so they've got that bonus point and a lovely finish here, but some excellent play of theirs in the build-up to that try.
Yeah, it's the scanning of the space and seeing the space and identifying it and then putting yourself in the space. And that's what Morne van den Berg does so well, the little scrummy for the Lions.
This time Timsfield goes fairly short with the kick in.
Use it,
23 points the difference. And full value to the Lions 2-1's got to say.
3, 2.
Van der Berg's kick, he'd like it to have gone a little bit further maybe than it did. So now Western Province trying to find their way through. So again, it's the defense of the Lions that's very well organized. Here comes Shimanga. And basically there goes Shimanga too. So it's into touch, but it'll be a Western Province throw in.
Hold on. So it's blue ball.
He'll look back on this game. He's a 19-year-old. Wonderful opportunity and hopefully the start of a long career for him too.
No, he shows a lot of promise, a lot of talent. He's got a lot of muscle and he carries it with speed. Does Ebenezer Shimanga.
So Van Square with a throw in. Nicely safely through Thomas Percy. Now out it goes to once again the self-same Ebenezer Shimanga. Western Province have managed to hold on to that. Percy, Swiel, and still they come, Western Province. Have they woken up too late? Will this defence of the Lions continue to be as efficient as it's been all game? Currie up there from Zwillen Daba. And Percy then going on the outside. Tristan Lays does the right thing to come back in field. But it's slow delivery from the breakdown, which gives the Lions a chance to get defensively organised.
No advantage, just a knock on in the tackle.
I'll come back for the small little knock on from one of the Lions players.
Now, when you look back on these games as well, Warren, you think to yourself, well, you know, the Lions haven't won a single Currie Cup game this season. Played 10, lost all 10 of them. And at times have looked very, very ordinary as a unit. Yet they've always seemed to have had a lot of good individual players. And you were talking about the youth in their side. Well, the youth has grown in stature, and I think it has been for a lot of the provinces too. So maybe we're going to see the true results of that in seasons to come.
Yeah, well, the selection that they've done is, you can see from this Lions team, is with a view to what's happening in the future, with a view to what's happening in the United Rugby Championship. They've been playing a lot of their youngsters, they've blooded a lot of the youngsters, but in this game, they've kept a couple of the URC players. Yes, players that haven't got as much experience, but a lot of youngsters, and they've been given an opportunity and they've made a big difference to this team.
Percy. Rickers Pretorius, a little bit of space found there by Azwil and Daba. Still they come. And still the tackles keep getting made by the Lions. Marcel Tiernison. Pretorius. Well, the fact that the Lions have only conceded a solitary try in this game says so much for their defensive capabilities. For Western Province, it's just got to be about trying to finish this off with some sort of stature of rugby that's being played. If they can get over that line. Now Van Spoor, little pop pass there. Tell you a man who's had an excellent game in a losing team is Marcel Tiernison. He has carried the ball well tonight. He's made a lot of tackles, but it's the Lions who've got a penalty.
Well, Gavin, you've spoken about the defence, and it has been a monster, a massive defensive effort from this this DHL Lions team. They've nearly made double the amount of tackles, or been asked to make double the amount of tackles that Western Province have had to do, and a lot of that have been in the second half. You're looking at over 120 plus tackles they've been asked to make. Only 73 have been asked of this Western Province team. So it's been all about that defence of Western Province, or the attack that hasn't been able to penetrate from Western Province, depending on how you look at it. But I think it's just been courageous. Players falling over, putting their bodies on the line, sacrificing their own bodies for their team. That's what it's been for the Lions this afternoon and this evening.
I think what's quite interesting too is that both teams have had 9 visits to their opposition 22. The Lions have scored 22 points.
And from those visits.
Yeah, and only 10 scored by Western Province in their 9 visits. So they've been deadly when they've got into the attacking side of the field. The last quarter, if you want to call it that. Now Van der Berg trying to worm that ball out. They need a little bit of help. No. Couldn't get released, and referees made the right call. It'll be a scrum to Western Province. But that's where you really need to call in the troops, don't you? Van der Berg, I mean, he's a strong fellow. You need a couple of those big bullets to...
You can't be asking your scrum half to rip it out in those tight exchanges.
Captain, leave him.
And there's that possession stat, almost up at 60% for Western Province.
If you want to speak, speak to me, please. There we go.
So the Lions players, I think it was in Tabakanya. Referee asked that if he wants to say something, say it to him. I don't know if he was implying that it was said behind his back. But there's, I think, a lot of excitement out there for the Lions. This will be their first victory of this Colin Currie Cup season. And they've had to wait a very long time for it.
Yeah, a big theme that has come out. They wanted to try finish strong. They won that one as a franchise in the United Rugby Championship, and they want to get their first victory in this Colin Currie Cup, which looks highly probable with 23-point gap.
Swell and Darbo had taken it in. Yeah, they come, Western Province, finding support. But they really have woken up too late. Can they at least finish with a try? Christian Leitz held up Yazpaba. Thomas Bursey wanting to get that ball as quickly as possible onto Mazibuko. Well, they'll be disappointed, the Lions, if they are not able to protect their try line. They've done it so well in this match, and they'd want to finish like that too, based on what Warren Bosnian had to say. No, we want to finish well. Well, could that happen? It's going to be another penalty as well to Western Province, but the Lions were knocked back 10 meters. The hooter goes in the background. Will it be a tap and go? Will it be a line out? It's a tap and go from Marcel Tiernison.
Can I take it behind me?
Not from the right spot, says the referee. Will they go for the line out? They can't win the match. They can't secure any more extra points. So Tillison it is who carries it up. Bursey now. We've seen this same scenario so many times during this game, and the Lions' defense is held. Is it going to happen again? Could it happen again? And so it has. It's been a very good night this for the men from Johannesburg. And as we've said before, full value for their victory too. 4 tries that they've scored in this game to the single try for Western Province from Namakaba. And no one's going to argue with that final result. They've had to wait very long for it, but it's their only Currie Cup victory this year in the 2022 season. There's a few more games to be played, and they'll want to carry on that good work if they can. Disappointment for Sergio Peterson. Perhaps a little bit of elation as well for young Ebenezer Shamanga, the left wing on debut for Western Province, in that he's now completed his first-class match. And he'll be very happy with the fact that he played in the match, but unfortunately not that he lost it. So the final scoreline here at Emirates Airline Park then, it's the Lions 33, Western Province 10.
Aussie rules for a reason.
6 of the best, picture perfect. The scenes, extraordinary stuff.
The AFL, live on Sky Sport.
Oh my goodness. These athletes are absolute champions.
Round 12 of the ANZ Premiership continues Wednesday when the Stars take on the Magic. Live Sky Sport 1.
Lights out, W Series is underway. Oh, that's it! Jamie Chadwick's been hit! Oh, look at this! There's a change in the lead! And there's the move.
Head down and get up to the car in front.
Brilliant victory in the wet for Emma Kimmerleinen. Alice Powell gets through to give her the championship lead. Jamie Chadwick retains her crown in some style. This is W Series.
For sports fans who love it fast.
As Murph would do.
Strap in for Sky Speed.
Woo!
Sky Speed, tonight on Sky Sport.
Every single game live on Sky Sport.
Sucking. No. I'm thinking if you've got Marty Pinks to try and sing it, it'll be horrible. Why sucking a hole?
Women's major golf is all about the W.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. A new star in the women's game.
Women's US Open returns Friday live Sky Sport 6.
And that concludes the action here at Emirates Airline Park. It's the Lions that walk away 33-10 victors against Western Province. Joined by our Carling Cup champion of the match, Lions fly half, Tian Swanepoel. Congratulations on your performance. Where has this winning momentum been all season?
Thank you very much. You know, we had a struggle of a season. We worked hard this week. We said, you know, concentrate just on the basics, and then we pulled it just through.
What was the difference this week in the preparation for this match?
I think it's just basically being hard and direct. You know, if we're doing the basics simple, straightforward, and then you know you automatically win.
You backed yourself for that long penalty as well, getting that extra cushion for the side.
Yes, that's my first one for this year actually, but it was good to have a long shot again.
Congratulations. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Our
you.
Carling Currie Cup champion of the Match Sigma Lions, Fly Half T and Swanepoel, joined by the losing captain, DHL Western Province captain, Namaklaba. What is going on? How does it get better for the side?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really know what to say. Week in, week out, just like the same scripted speech, but yeah, very disappointing on our end. We came with a job to do, and in all facets, I just don't think we could deliver.
Why couldn't you deliver today? What was the difference?
Just to be honest, probably have to go back to the drawing board and look at it. I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
Tough times with the next match against the Griquas, who are also flying high. How do you prepare for that one now?
Yeah, it will just be a thing of pride now, because obviously they beat us up in Kimberley, and I think they've beat us 3 in a trot. So we'll be at home, and we'd want to show pride for this jersey.
Hard luck tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Western Province captain Namaklaba, disappointed with his team performance tonight. Joined now by the winning captain of the Sigma Lions, Reinhard Notnagel. Congratulations, your first win of the season. What did you think of your team's performance tonight?
Yeah, I think we had a good start today. Struggled a bit there towards the end of the first half, but you got to win, so that's all that counts today.
That is all that counts, because you were playing like a team that is gunning for a semi-final place. Where has this gutsy performance been all season?
Yeah, well, I think we've had a tough season so far, especially in the Currie Cup, but we are in a building phase, so we want to take this momentum into the next season. So we're a young group of guys playing for each other, and we enjoy rugby, so we want to get the crowd back here, so we want to play exciting brand of rugby.
You're away to the Sharks in your next match. How do you prepare for that one?
Well, the Sharks away is also tough, especially in winter time. But I think it's going to be a tough game there. I think they will rest a couple of guys because they're on the playoffs in the URC. So I think we should field the strong team and try to get another win there.
Congratulations tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Lions captain Reinhard Notnagel with a big smile on his face, considering that his team have finally bagged a win this season. The Bulls, of course, up against the Pumas, a victory at Loftus Versfeld yesterday. Boy, did they had to dig deep for that one. And the Greek was shocking the Cheetahs 46-18 at Windhoek Draft Park in Kimberley. Always difficult to travel to Kimberley. So this is how the things are looking on the log. The province on 13 points at the moment, 5 bonus points in the bag. Finally, a victory in the column for the Lions. They're first in 11 attempts, but it is the Bulls that remain at the top, 47 points in the bag, followed by the Cheetahs, who are on 41. As I fix my notes here, joined by Akona Ndungane yet again as we wrap things up here at Emirates Airline Park. Your thoughts on the second half performance?
Much better from Western Province. I think they came out with an intent. They scored on the scoreboard. I felt in the first half, they were making too many errors in the Lions half, and I feel sorry for Nama coming out every weekend trying to explain what's not going right with his team. But I felt in the second half they showed a bit of heart, so it's something that they can take forward, and hopefully in the last 2 games that are left for the season they can build on it.
Showing a lot of heart, but just not finding their rhythm, not finding a way to attack. But once they got their pick and go going, they started to find themselves on the scoreboard.
If you play away from home, especially against a desperate side like the Sigma Lions, you'll always you have to have a good start. And I felt in the first half the Lions were dominating them and they were catching up for the game. And unfortunately, it was too little, too late. The Lions were also desperate for their first win. But it was nice to see some youngsters coming through, Ebenezer getting a start, and I think it bodes well for the future. But I think as Western Province fans, they want to see results, they want to see the team playing well. They still had a bit of experience in the side with Juan de Jong, Ernest van Rijn, so they still had the experience in the team to show the result, but unfortunately on the field didn't show it.
When do the players start to take responsibility as well? After such a long season, is this not a time when they should have cohesion, have some sort of chemistry?
You would expect, it's because they've had 10 games in now, you'd expect the guys to start gelling. But unfortunately, I think if on the day they're not playing well, the passes are not going to hand. But for me, if you miss soft tackles, then it just shows you on the character of the players. If you're late on the cleaners, it shows you how much desperate you're not on the day. So you can't blame the coach for that because they can only do so much during the week. But on the day, if the players are not pitching up, the agency is not there, the energy is flat, then you can't expect the team to do well. So both teams were desperate, but I think the team that played well actually got away with the win.
Certainly did. For the Lions, it's almost like, where's this performance been all season? Where has this winning spark been all season? They were just brilliant tonight.
Well, if you look at the Lions team that played today, it's completely different to the one that played the 8-9 games. But unfortunately, I think for them, they came with a win. Experience was there. First win for the season, a tough one next week against the Natal Sharks.
Definitely a tough one. Predictions for that one?
Well, Sharks are in with the shout, and they know that if they lose, the Pumas might come in, so I back the Sharks.
Back the Sharks on that one.
Yes.
As Stormers, they've got Western Province, I beg your pardon, they've got a tough one against the Griquas.
Very tough
at home.
Yeah, and Griquas just beat the Cheetahs at home. They're going to the DHL Western Province, who's technically, I think, out of the running now. So I bet Griquas to get the win there.
You bet Griquas. Okay, okay. Big calls being made here by Akona Ndungane. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you as well for joining us in our coverage of Carling Currie Cup action. It's been a wonderful time here at Emirates Airline Park. It's all about the Lions. That's where the party will be, considering that they've just bagged their very first win of the season. Will they be able to continue